Crisis, we didn't get any omnibus editions this week, which is unfortunate. I don't know, it's kind of a break, which is nice, but we did get some awesome, cool, kind of deluxe hardback editions that we also love, because they do fulfill that that desire for nice collections that complete, whole runs. The first of which that we got today was Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Creation Myths. Now, I haven't really had the nerve to dive into the expansive world of the Dark Crystal, especially in the comic book worlds, but I've been feeling that itch, especially with the Netflix revival and everything. This is a cool collection that they've done. They put a lot of Dark Crystal and other Jim Henson property comics out in these really nice sort of deluxe hardback styles. This one in particular, called Creation Myths, is sort of sees the return of Brian Froud, who they say, or who is the legendary conceptual designer of the film. He kind of returns to sort of tell this origin story, where they kind of get into the deep lore of the creation of the Skeksis and the Dark Crystal itself, and where these creatures come from and how their civilizations come about. Originally released in a trilogy, this wonderful edition sort of collects all that together in one nice volume. That's going for $39.99, and we also do our 10% off, so definitely check that out. Another big release, we've got this being the most recent release of Crisis on Infinite Earths by, that is, Marv Wolfman and legendary artist George Perez, who especially in the 80s were two of DC's major creators. Crisis on Infinite Earths is kind of hailed as one of the first, if not the major, at least, most major giant crossover events where, with comic books, unlike a lot of other mediums, you get characters and storylines that span decades, like literal decades. Certain stories, they get written, they get various installments, maybe over a few years, and then they get a conclusion or something like that. But with a lot of comic book characters, it's been generations across generations of what is essentially supposed to be a continuous continuity. So occasionally you get attempts like this to sort of streamline the expansive continuity, the sort of various alternate universes, timelines, alternate worlds, in Earths in this case, where various things happen, and they sort of attempt to streamline it and condense it. And this is one of the ones most famous for doing that, because it was done in such a sort of expansive, big, and sort of revolutionary way. You have basically everyone. DC did a lot of stories involving characters that were alternate versions of characters you knew, different storylines, but they all sort of established different things that were all supposed to exist in various forms or other, but they all sort of contradicted each other in different ways. So this took just that massive storyline, or that massive branching continuities and things, and sort of tied it all together and sort of retooled the DC and restructured the DC universe to sort of be a bit more streamlined. It was also cool because there was a lot of major things that happened in this that would affect DC Comics and kind of comics in general, trend-wise, for years to come. You get the introduction of characters like the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor that have been major, driving cosmic forces in DC continuity for a long time. You also get some major character deaths. I mean, spoiler alert, but it's also one of the most famous images. Superman weeping over the dead body of Supergirl, Kara Zor-El. As well as other major character deaths that, unlike a lot of character deaths today, actually lasted for a good long while, like many years, where other characters took up their mantle and formed their own legacy as that character in real time. It's pretty cool. So that's one of the big draws for this kind of classic story, is that it did have an impact. A lot of big major crossover events that they do today will kind of happen, and they'll even sell them on the back of like, this is going to change everything, and sometimes it just really doesn't. But this one, it's got that longevity because it does have that lasting impact. You can chart the changes that it made. You can see the influences it had on the way that they produce comics. You just like I said, like, everyone's there. George Perez masterfully kind of works everyone into this story, even in complicated background shots where you just have large groups of characters. You even have brief appearances by like Swamp Thing and John Constantine in here that predate the actual existence of Vertigo. Like, it's pretty cool. If you want something that's sort of all-encompassingly DC, but also kind of harkens back to that fun cosmic style of the 80s, come check out this wonderful new deluxe edition hardback volume. It's been recolored, it's been remastered. They did do a paperback version of this as well. This one is $49.99. We're also doing the 10% off, although let's go ahead and put that extra 5% on this one this week. So we're going to put, instead of the standard 10% off, you're getting 15% off of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the deluxe hardback edition, this week only, so come check that out. And you know, and it's really cool. It kind of sports that wonderful sort of wrap panoramic cover that legendary artist Alex Ross did that incorporates everyone. It's a gorgeously painted cover. In fact, I just feel like you can't see this well on the cover. Come this way real quick. As of just today, we've got this wonderful, complete panoramic print of Alex Ross's legendary Crisis on Infinite Earths piece. Literally just acquired this like an hour ago. So it's kind of fitting that it would be on the day that they re-release Crisis on Infinite Earths in deluxe hardback edition. This wonderful piece we're letting go for $300. We'll have it hanging up in our statue room. And gosh, it's just got all the characters on it. You've got like not Cyclops right there. You've got not the Hulk. You've got like, you know, who is this? Is that the Bride of Galactus? I don't know. Clearly I'm too much of a Marvel fanboy.
Harbinger.
Harbinger, right. That was my next guess. And of course, you know, Golden Age Superman, Green Lantern. I think that's that's OMAC, right? And Vigilante.
Correct.
Yeah, I know some obscure characters. I sort of know my TC stuff. I gotta get boned up. I gotta dive into this series a little bit. But yes, it's super cool. Come check that out. If for no other reason, just to see it in person. It's so glorious. How often do you get to see it? It's about 3 feet tall, about 5.5 feet wide. I kind of measured myself. It's about the same height I am. It's kind of weird. So yeah, that's some cool stuff to come check out here. What else have we got? Oh, were you one of the unfortunate few that missed out on the new Henry Abrams and J.J. Abrams Spider-Man #1? Well, lucky for you, we've got more in stock now. Just a few, so be sure to don't sit on it. Don't wait. Come grab it while you can. Who did this cover?
Chip Kid.
Chip Kid, that's right. So this is the cool Chip Kid variant that features the sort of die cutout Spider-Man eye. Spider in the middle, you open it up and boom. Ah! It's a pretty good comic. I actually got to, I read it a little while back and it's fun. It seems like it's going to be setting up a little bit. It seems to do with Spider-Man father issues, which makes you kind of worry. Henry Abrams, are you and JJ all right? Do you have a good father-son relationship? I mean, you're writing comics together. You must have a great dynamic. What else? Coming up soon, we've got our Guzu Gallery horror show. I'm super excited for this. As a massive horror sci-fi fan myself, I love working next to and with an art gallery that specializes in sci-fi horror art galleries. And we seem to have an enthusiasm for it here in Austin because we have a lot of local artists who come and contribute pieces for this. It's going to be pretty great. That is we're opening that Friday, September 27th at 7 p.m. So we shut down Austin Books, reopen Guzu Gallery at 7 p.m. That goes to 10 p.m. And it's something awesome to do. It's free on a Friday. It's something free to do on a Friday night. You get we have everyone gets a couple drinks. We have some live music. We debut all the pieces. Everything's for sale. The original pieces, framed pieces, prints. It's all there. And yeah, it's awesome. It's really cool. And again, like, I actually, unlike a lot of other of my coworkers who have been plugging our show, trying to drum up that excitement, I actually have not seen any of these pieces yet. So I'm saving the best. I'm gonna surprise myself because I'm super excited. So hope to see you there. What else? It's that time again. Austin Chronicle is doing its Best in Austin yearly vote. We are finalists, and that is, of course, thanks to y'all. We love that y'all get on there and vote for us, but it's not over yet. If you haven't gone to austinchronicle.com and clicked on us for Best Comic Shop in Austin, and Guzu Gallery, and Outlaw Moon as well, give us all a good vote. Or a good vote. As opposed to a bad vote, I guess that's a thing. Not really. No, go ahead and give us a click. We very much appreciate that. We love you guys, and you know, just show us that support. One other thing, did you know that we host a book club at the end of every month? The last Tuesday of every month, we host a book club with our own Nolan Burrow. What did I say? Yeah, Nolan Burrow. That's right. And we host that over at Outlaw Moon Games and Toys. That's usually starts at 7 o'clock. Like I said, last Tuesday of every month. This month, I wanted to go ahead and put it out there way in advance because it's one of my favorite books, especially being the last Tuesday in October. We're doing something spooky. Immortal Hulk, Marvel's recent Hulk series that is kind of game-changing by Al Ewing. Has been absolutely fantastic if you're a horror fan like I am, if you like Cronenbergian body horror and sort of deep, dark philosophical ideas and themes about the nature of evil and what destruction means, and it's great. You have the Hulk sort of retooled as this sort of devilish monster, not a big dumb brute, but someone with an actual plan, with a malicious intent in his heart. It's kind of creepy and to see him exact his brand of justice on people he feels have done wrong. So definitely come check that out. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of cool discussions there, and it's a great sort of place to sort of embrace your fandom. So that's everything we got going on. I'm sweating profusely because I'm talking so fast. And that has been Omnibrennen this week. Absent Omnis, but we do love our deluxe hardback collections, of course. 15% off Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's all this week. As always, omnibus editions to the people. Thank you.